Welcome to Exploring Aviation. I'm Stacy Schultz, and I'm here with my co-host tonight, Bill Tischer.
Hi, Stacy.
Nice,
Good to see
nice
you again.
that you made it.
You too.
It's so cold out. On tonight's show, we're going to be talking to Minneapolis Airport Police, and we have two representatives here with us, Sergeant Satry, pardon me,
You bet.
and
No
Officer
problem.
Jolynn Christensen.
Hello.
And they're going to talk to us about the Airport Watch program.
So, I don't know who wants to start, but maybe someone could give us an overview of the Airport Watch program?
I think Jolynn would be great at that.
Okay, good.
Thanks. Okay, well, what the Airport Watch program is it's what it really comes down to is community-based policing.
Okay.
And what we have are a bunch of volunteers that go out to the airport and watch for things that are suspicious in nature and then call the police department.
So they actually go in the airport, or?
Well, at MSP they go around.
Okay.
They're on the perimeter fence line and some of the parking lots, and we have around 18 different areas that they visit when they come out to MSP. Eden Prairie Police Department and Eden Prairie, or Flying Cloud Airport, also has a program.
Okay.
They go in and out just like they would here in Blaine.
Okay.
So how do people get involved, or what? Or do
Well, usually it's kind of word of mouth at this point. We do have some literature out by the airport and the observation lot. There's some brochures, and it has our website, and it also has an email address. But most of our members are people that know other members. Some are photography enthusiasts. Some are tail number watchers,
Okay.
spotters.
Right.
And some are just people who like to watch planes. So by word of mouth, they either email us or call the police department. They either give me or Sergeant Satry their information, and we send them out the information that they need to apply.
We do as well go to the airport shows, the air show like here at Blaine, Eden Prairie, went to Duluth, and done some recruiting there as well. It's done really well for us. People actually see us there, see what we're doing. Folks are obviously aviation enthusiasts. We have a pretty captured audience, and they'll go from basically booth to booth to booth, so we get their time. And
Very
it's a win-win for everybody.
So this is similar to a neighborhood watch program, basically?
Very similar.
Only it's airport
Correct.
centric. Right.
Do they have a schedule they have to, like, show up at this time, do 4 hours?
No, they can be there for whatever period of time they want to be. We've kind of made it really flexible for people. We understand that coming to the airport is not like going to your neighborhood. You usually have to make a special trip, unless you're working there. And we do have some employees. But for the most part, if you're driving to pick up family members, or if you're driving to work and you happen to pass some of the areas that we would want you to look for, suspicious people in vehicles, that counts as a visit. You can, like I said, there's up to 18 or 19 different areas that people can visit. They can be there for as short a period of time or as long a period of time as they want. Another thing that we do is we have monthly meetings. The third Tuesday of every month, we have a meeting with all the members that are invited. All members are invited to the meetings. And every third Tuesday of the month, and we usually try to host something interesting for them to do or to look at. We've had our SWAT members bring in SWAT equipment. We've had canine demos. We've had, special intelligence people come in. Our own intelligence officer go in. We've had TSA. We've had FBI. So they get a lot of training on top of, they get a lot of interesting semi-police stuff to do.
So they're familiar with
Exactly.
the atmosphere.
Right. We want them to know what we're looking for and what, not just us. Again, the Transportation Security Administration. We had a person from the Postal Service that came out, and it a direct correlation to aviation and what they would like these folks to be looking for.
Oh, wow.
Total buy-in. You'd asked about if there was a requirement to be there at a certain time. At one point there was. We took that away, and basically our membership and our numbers as far as the amount of time people are spending has it's taken off. Once it
flexibility.
Was, very much so. Once it went from basically you had to do so much time, and you had to go to the meetings, we had a handful of members, and we've grown by almost 400% since we just were lifted that and just made it, this is for you. And
Whatever
it's a
works for you.
win-win for everybody. We get the benefit of your knowledge, your being there, and then we give them back special access to certain areas in the MSP area. But that one thing about removing the requirement really helped out a lot.
So is MSP and Eden Prairie the only airports in the country? Is this kind of a new program, or
No.
what's the background of it?
There's a, well, it started in 1999 in Ottawa, Canada. Jacques Brunel, he's a member of the Royal Mounted Police. He's one of their intelligence officers right now. He started up the program. Some of their members kind of came to him with that.
Okay.
Sergeant Al Cooper here at MSP in 2008 heard about that program along with Commander Christensen, and they decided that that might be something we'd be interested in doing. So he went up to Ottawa. They did. Went up to Ottawa and found out about their program, brought it back, and now it's in Kelowna, Canada, in Ottawa and Montreal, in Phoenix, Arizona, in Chicago, Illinois, and that's Bensonville PD.
Okay.
Us, Eden Prairie. There's a number of different agencies that are
Growing.
using Airport Watch. Every year we get a couple more members.
Wow.
Uh,
And it just makes sense because most of the folks are at the airport anyway. So
For
might as well
something.
help look for suspicious activity. So what kinds of things in the so there's training?
Oh, yeah,
So-
yes, sir.
So what kinds of things do you look or teach them?
Well, we teach them what we're looking for. A lot of the things are just people that don't belong there. The backsides of the airports, the places where not really normally local access.
Okay.
Those are really, they're area for us that we just are not always there. And these folks there go back there, take their pictures, they do whatever they're doing, watching their planes. Anyone else that might be back there, we need to know that they're there for whatever reason. Might be just something that got lost. Google Maps right now has caused us a few problems because the runways are where 34th Street
Oh, no.
should be, as an example.
Funny.
And a lot of stuff like that. But
Right.
these folks know what belongs and what doesn't belong, and their point is most of these folks are either photographers or pilots, and they have a ventured interest in this.
Sure.
So,
Sure.
but we teach them what exactly we're looking for, and it might be something that someone left a gate open, forgot to close it.
Wow.
Well, that's an open invitation for anybody. So we want to know who might be coming out there just to watch and see what's going on out there. Is anyone gathering intelligence on our security?
Sure.
Does this area get left open too long? We don't see police, we don't see uniforms, whatever. They will let us know things like that. So,
So they're not there to do anything about it except to call.
oh no, we don't. In fact, just the opposite. We do not
Okay.
want them doing anything. We want a phone call and let our folks come out there respond. We don't want them confronting anybody.
Okay.
We just want them to report. If they can stay there, let us know what's going on. If people start to move or whatever, just be the eyes and the extended eyes and ears. So another thing we do is we have uniforms for our folks, or a t-shirt and a vest. We've learned that people that are trying to do something bad, whether it be at an airport or in town, do not like uniforms of any kind. Uniforms symbolize
Right.
structure, and that person should be there.
Sure.
If they don't have that uniform, they realize they shouldn't be there. So that's, if nothing else, more than just a real strong deterrent.
That's
So,
excellent.
And they may not, I suppose, respect the person in plain clothes coming up as much as seeing somebody in uniform,
correct.
where they'll be like, oh, well, you have a badge, I better not do this, or whatever they're doing.
Yeah, and that's the training that we receive. It's different than a layman would have, that does not really know what to say once a person gives them information. Where do I go from there? I mean, a lot of bad things can happen with good intention.
Right.
Right.
And we just don't want that. The goal is not to get anybody hurt in this. We know what we're looking for. We know how to react to different situations, and that's the kind of training they're not going to receive.
So has it been successful? Are people finding things? Or?
Yeah, I'd have to say we don't have any numbers for 2012 yet, but I bet we're probably getting 4 or 5 calls a month from
Wow.
members, maybe even more
Kind of
than
a
that
lot.
during the summer. Yeah, they find vehicles, they call on people. We also had a member find a gate open, so that's a big deal. we definitely want to get that closed. And so they're doing a lot of stuff, not just looking for people and suspicious activity things. They're watching the fence line
Sure.
and watching to make sure everything stays secure.
So you talked about Eden Prairie, Minneapolis. Are there other airports targeted for the watch program?
Well, right now we're in talks with the Blaine Police Department about starting an airport watch program out here. We do have a couple members at MSP that want to be members out here at Blaine because they actually live out here.
Okay.
The trip to Minneapolis is not as convenient.
Right.
So, yeah, exactly. So we're going to keep talking with them about trying to get the program up and running out here. The other reliever airports are also something that we're looking, at maybe helping them get things started. Basically what it takes is interest from the community to let the police department know that they are interested in an airport watch program. A lot of the police departments don't even know it exists. So what happens is we'll have people that are Googling airport watches and they see that there's one in Eden Prairie or one in Minneapolis, and then they contact us.
Okay.
So just more, again, a lot of word of mouth to get things started, but
Sure.
I could see it, and I think our command staff and Sergeant Satry agree that it could be something that spreads across the country. It's we have training manuals, we have applications, we have your basic policy and procedure type stuff, all canned already. So basically, all it has to do is have the police department's name put on it, and right now MSP is funding most of the reliever airport stuff, so if the reliever airport is interested, they get shirts and badged and vests, and we do their dash placards and all that stuff for
Nice.
MSP.
That's very nice feature.
For us, it basically falls under the Metro Airport Commission is what it really comes down to. If it interests us, it interests the folks at Blaine,
Right.
Lake Elmo, Eden Prairie, the other 7 airports as well. So it's a win-win for all of us. It extends some of the group that can come up here to Blaine, smaller planes, bigger planes, whatever the case might be. A lot of these folks are either photographers,
Yep.
they are pilots themselves, and it's just different things at different venues. So if you have an interest in, say, aviation, I want to take all the pictures of the 747s and the 727s. Well, let me come out here to Blaine, take a picture of a Cessna, one of the smaller ones. Different type shots, so different plane numbers to take down that you won't see at MSP.
Right.
So.
The other thing too that some of the members in Eden Prairie had told me when we first started the program was that they had an interest in securing their own airport for general aviation, because their concern was that TSA would come in and restrict them without them having any say in it. So this way they have a preemptive act to tell the TSA, we've done this on our own. We have tried to secure our airport on our own. Please don't come in and put down a bunch of rules and regulations on us so that we can't get to our planes.
Sure, that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it is actually happening. I have an uncle out of state that he's a private pilot himself, and he has said that he has not flown in several years because of all the restrictions put on their airport, and it just makes it very difficult for him too. So he literally will go out of state just to fly his plane. So that's what we're trying to avoid.
Right.
That's costly.
It's very
You
costly.
want to keep
and
people in the community at your airport.
he has to drive several states away just to fly his plane, and that's where he's moved it to. And we just, that's, if it comes to a point in our nation where we need to do that, so be it. But if it not be, and they just want someone to be taking control of their own security,
Right.
this is their opportunity.
And that's, counter to all the airports wanting people to come out and visit
Correct.
and see. So if you've got all
Right.
the security fences up and, barbed wire on the top, that's not very inviting. So, but by having folks around keeping an eye on things, maybe more people come out too, and then less people have to be watching because more people are out there already. And so it's a
And you have a
win-win.
system in place to report something if there's something suspicious.
Exactly. As flight instructors, we do have to take a mandatory class every year, and it's a very similar sort of thing where we don't want to confront people. We look for suspicious things, people modifying planes, things like that. So it's very similar, but at least now everybody can get involved if they want to. But is there limitations on who you can accept to join the program?
Right. Right now, we accept people who are 18 years of age or older.
Okay.
We do have a restriction for Minnesota residents, but we have made a couple exceptions depending on the circumstances of people. So
Sure.
it's easier to do backgrounds on people from the same state, but we kind of take it case by case basis. You have to pass a background check,
Okay.
and then once you've applied and are accepted, you get you have to bring in your IDs. There's two types of IDs that you have to bring in order to get a badge. And then once that's all done, you come in and do the training and have to follow the guidelines, and that's pretty much it.
So they don't have to be U.S. citizens, or is that a requirement? Or?
We have a couple that are not, that have visas.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then, so the training, is that like a day type thing, or?
Pretty much just a couple hours.
Okay.
What we have is a number of trainers, and basically how it goes is you contact us, we get you an application, you fill out your application, you send it in to badging. Badging sends you a packet full of, or you send it to us, and then badging office sends you a packet. And then you fill that packet out, you bring it to badging along with your 2 forms of ID. They do the badging process, some fingerprinting and a background. Once that passes, then we'll contact you and tell you you have a badge and that you're a member. And then our training people will call you and let you know and set up a time for some training. Usually it's a night. We sometimes piggyback right off of a meeting if that's more convenient. We really do try to make it the most convenient thing possible. But you spend a couple hours driving around the airport looking for suspicious activity, suspicious people, and then visiting the different areas that you guys are allowed to go to.
Okay. So some of the areas that I was reading about, Post Road, there's a parking lot there.
An observation lot, yeah.
Yeah. And where are all the other
There's
places
the
that
dog
people go?
park. There was the dog park too, right?
Yeah.
There is, you bet. The Post Road thing, that's where the general public are allowed to park for, it's a parking lot, cell phone lot, if you will.
Okay.
And that is truly the benefit to the members themselves. They're allowed to extend from there. The general public itself, just to sit and watch planes or just to sit and wait, that is the one and only spot.
Okay.
Where you're pretty much going to get, not bother, I'm trying to think of the best choice of word, but
Sure.
no one's going to come asking you why you're there. There's
Sure.
a reason why you're there. You're waiting for somebody.
Except for the limo drivers.
I've sat there
that show up.
before.
Right, yeah, they're not supposed to be there.
I've sat there and
Don't know
judged.
that rule. So yeah, there's a lot of rules, state, federal, yeah, it is what it is. But there are other areas that get out there, give you different angles for if you're, say, that photographer or the plane watcher that wants to get a better angle or whatever.
Sure.
Right.
And that's the benefit to the member itself. So that's why it is such a win-win. They get to these other spots, and we don't molest them with
I
that.
was thinking if you were a program member and another member was watching you watch the program, but they have the vests and things on, so they're identifiable.
Well, they are, but we still ask that people call in.
Okay.
It doesn't
Sure.
it doesn't matter if you're wearing the uniform or not. We still, if they're in places that are suspicious, we still want people to call on them. And it's not unheard of. We were talking about a story before the show even aired about someone who was impersonating an officer. Someone could be impersonating an airport watch member. It's not beyond the realm of possibilities. So we are still going to check on people, but if you're a member, it's going to be a briefer check than someone who's just off the street.
Okay. Okay.
They will have an identification badge to show one of the officers. A lot of times it actually is the case where our officers get sent to an airport watch member because someone else saw them, which is very good.
Sure.
You have an employee of a hangar or whatever, see someone sitting there, and he's should be there. But yeah, it's nice to know that too, and it's nice to see that people are taking interest in that. So, but as Officer Christensen was saying, it's just show my badge. Oh, this is whatever. They'll run to make sure it's a legitimate badge, make sure it's the right person,
Sure.
and then just let them go with that.
Sure.
So,
That's
other folks will have probably a little more in-depth conversation with that officer. So, and that's as well it should be.
Right.
Why are you here?
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. You're in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
It's just kind of the backside of the airport. Why are you here? And that's, of course, it's now getting the correct information as to why they were really there. And that's where the members come in. They start seeing that guy again and again and again. We want to know.
Exactly.
We want to know.
It sounds like it's a successful program and it's working well.
It's
and
working very well.
So
Very
who
good.
can they contact if they want to, if our audience would like more information?
Well, they can call myself. My number is 612-467-0907. We have a website.
MSP airportwatch.com.
Thank you.
And then we also have a Gmail address, which is www.mspairportwatch@gmail.com.
Very good.
Okay, great.
So,
Great.
I appreciate you, Dave, coming in, and Jolynn, and if anybody
you
has
very
any questions, we'll have the information on the website for Exploring Aviation. So, thank you for joining us, and
Thank you
thank
for having
everyone,
us. Thank you.
and we'll see you all next time.